this pursuit. It is a wild and dangerous one, the second one within the hour that is really just giving us a bit of agita up here in Air 7 as he continues to swerve around every car in his way. Taking the 170 at 110 miles per hour. He's finding a little more room to play with here, and he's using every inch of it now, pushing the gas pedal to over 110 miles per hour and continuing these wild lane changes that are going to result in nothing good if he continues driving at this clip. Look at that. That bumper is about to fall off. And the vehicle appears to be behaving pretty well. Thankfully, it's a well-built Lexus that is able to handle this kind of driving, but you know, one wrong move at these speeds is all it takes, and it doesn't matter what kind of car you're driving. This could end very, very badly, and there is just so much potential for collateral damage here. Again, northbound on the 170, getting off of the 101 freeway at 90 miles per hour, slowing down just slightly. But you'd much rather see it on the freeway than had he stayed in Hollywood. He was using surface streets before getting right back on the freeway. You have to wonder where he wants to go here. Look at that, taking an exit ramp, a little too much traffic for his liking, and is now taking the northbound exit ramp here in North Hollywood off of the 101 freeway. That's going to be, I think, Oxnard Street, as he has a red light in front of him here. Of course, he's going to resort to that shoulder, and we'll see if there's anybody behind him. There was talk of actually canceling this pursuit after the pit maneuver. I thought that would have committed them to this, but it looks like he's just using it to transition maybe back onto the freeway here. We'll widen out in a second when we can to see if there's anybody behind him, but it does look like law enforcement has pulled back. He is now at a shopping mall here in Burbank, in North Hollywood rather, at Hollywood Way and Oxnard Street. Let's see here. Coming around the building, he's got that bumper still hanging, but nobody behind him, guys. It does look like California Highway Patrol has pulled off, and he's using the parking garage. Right into the parking garage where all smart pursuit drivers end up, because that is the #1 way to dump the vehicle and walk away after the run of his life here, after a wild and dangerous chase on the freeway, getting off in Hollywood, getting pitted by that CHP patrol car, and realizing that that vehicle was probably on borrowed time. The trail was too hot. CHP pulled off, and he has found his hiding spot here at Victory Boulevard off of the 170 freeway, guys. Eventually, maybe, especially if his, if his face is visible. But unfortunately, I suspect that the only thing left in there is probably mall security at best. So we're talking about, what we don't see here is any sign of a perimeter. Burbank PD, LAPD, California Highway Patrol gave it up for way down there. The only thing I do see is LAPD's airship coming into the scene here to look for any sign of that driver. But other than that, you don't see the typical flooding of the zone here where they can pounce on this guy if they have a visual. He most likely will dump the vehicle. My bet, if I was a betting man, is that it probably was not his vehicle, and so he will leave it there and then walk away like nothing ever happened. That's my suspicion, and that's how these usually end when they do find a parking garage like this. But you're right, there are cameras, and if his face is identifiable, they might be able to track his movements and find out where he goes next. But without any manpower on the ground down there, there's just so much time for him to just walk away. Yeah, this is the NoHo West Mall here in North Hollywood. It's right off of the freeway. And you're right, David. It does look like, for the most part, they're counting their... I'll tell you why this surprises me, though. Even though we don't see a lot of law enforcement here, it's very rare that they execute a pit maneuver like that, which creates a whole lot of paperwork and a lot of liability. Every time they execute a pit maneuver, it creates new liability for the department, and it makes it more consequential in terms of how this is resolved for a number of legal reasons. And so usually, once they make that decision and actually make contact, that is somebody, that person, and whoever else is inside that vehicle, if there is anybody hurt during the pit maneuver, for example, that is possibly the fault of law enforcement. Law enforcement takes those risks in order to keep the public safe and take these people off of the road. That's one tactic that they used. It's approved, it's legal, but there are still possibilities of injury during those pit maneuvers. And so it's very rare that those pit maneuvers are executed and then the pursuit is abandoned. Once they engage with a suspect like that and actually, every time, think about it, every time you approve the pit maneuver, you are approving the damage of city property, because those police vehicles are also damaged during pit maneuvers. That is all. I can't tell you the amount of paperwork and legal consequences that come from a pit maneuver. Something as simple that we talk about all the time during these pursuits. It comes with a whole lot of baggage, and so it's just so rare to see something like that and then watch them wash their hands of it, essentially letting the suspect go. You got it.